In relationships, it is possible to become so attached to someone that even after a breakup, it becomes difficult to break the connection. No matter how hard you try to bond with other people, you find yourself still longing for that one person. You just happen to see them everywhere and in everything you do, and sometimes reliving the memories of times spent together to help you go through your days. Beyond that, you can sense whether things are not right, and they can feel the same way for you. When you have a connection like this, moving on can be quite difficult for both parties, and most likely you find yourselves drawn to each other again. Most times we do not know what we have until we lose it. You do not know you have had it good until you experience the other side. If you find that you always have to go to a particular person for help or support you even after your separation and vice versa, it might be that God is drawing you both together. The overall impact of a person in your life might not be felt when they are present in your life, but in their absence, you begin to notice these things. It might be in your career, social or spiritual life. God sets up people in our lives to help and support us. Even when you drift apart for a while, you find that you need them to achieve certain things and you cannot be fulfilled without them. The reasonable thing for anyone to do at this point will be to get back together. If you notice any of these signs, you should know that you are not over that person and neither are they over you. In this instance, moving on can be quite difficult, if not impossible. So stay open to the possibilities and let go of your pride and ego. If the person wants you back and you know you want the same thing, you should go for it. Give the relationship another chance this time, being careful not to repeat the previous mistakes that you made. Besides, if God wants you together, that is the greatest insurance you have. So commit the relationship to God and let Him take the lead this time. What does not break you can only make you stronger. So expect to have a sweeter, better and stronger relationship even as you come together according to God's will. Communication is the backbone of any relationship. The more you communicate with a person, the closer you get and the more attached you become. Take away communication from even the sizzling relationships and you might have as well killed the relationship. When people separate, the first thing they do is to cut off from any form of communication. No phone calls, messages, discussions, or outings together. Usually, they become estranged, and where there had once been lively chit-chat based on familiarity, conversations are reduced to over-formal, civilized formalities. It could be very sad to watch. However, if there is still an open communication line between you and the other person, it might be a positive sign that they want to get back to you. They still call to check on you, send random text messages, want to get your opinions on important issues, and generally just want to be with you. Sometimes they make excuses to see you, like coming around to check for something they think they might have left at your place, or coming to your place with a friend of yours. They might make it seem like a coincidence, but obviously they just want to be around you. Some even take the subtle route of staying connected to your friends so that they can keep tabs on you. Even if you are no longer together, you are the first person they call to share a recent achievement or any good news. They might call you when they are faced with challenges or in need of comfort. The beautiful thing is that you probably feel this way too. The absence of these things might have caused a break in the relationship in the first place. Now, rather than deteriorate down after the relationship, it improves. Then, it is likely a sign that you are being drawn back together. The point is, most people get into relationships unprepared, and they are shocked when they discover how much they were not ready for it. As a result, they quickly back out when the going gets tough. Sometimes, it might just be that the love they felt towards each other has become cold, and there is nothing left to keep them together. The magic is gone, the spark is no longer there, and every other thing has simply fizzled out or just stopped. So, what is the point in trying? Some people, on the other hand, realize that the relationship was never meant to be in the first place, and they have only been forcing things to happen all along. So they go their separate ways. People break up for different reasons. In the same way connections are made and bonds are formed, they can also be broken. The breakup might be mutual, where two people walk away from the relationship, having come to an agreement that it cannot work. But sometimes it is due to an error or fault from one individual, say maybe infidelity or certain signs of toxicity in the relationship. For whatever reason it might be, however, it is not always easy to just let go and move on after a breakup. Attachments have been formed over time, and based on different individuals, these emotional connections draws them back or makes them wish the relationship is in existence. Some people work their way back into the relationship, while others keep hoping that something would happen and their ex would have them back. Most times, though, it is difficult to make a relationship work again after separation, especially where vile words have been spoken by both individuals against each other and where there are trust issues. Yet, there have been instances where people get back together, work through the differences, learn from previous mistakes, and build a much stronger relationship. How do you know if a relationship is worth salvaging? If it is not worth it, then there is no point getting back together. Well, some of the things that cause people to separate are sometimes minor issues that could have easily been worked out. When such people look back, they discover that their separation had all been for nothing, especially if they had a good time at the beginning of the relationship. Besides, a lot of things could have happened. People change, and so does circumstances. The circumstances that warranted your breakup might have changed, and you discover there is no need for that separation anymore. However, the feeling has to be mutual. Just as you are being drawn, the other person should feel the same way. Otherwise, there is no point yearning for another chance. If your partner has moved on, then you should brace up and do the same. There is no point crying over spilt milk. However, if you sense that your ex still wants to come back and you are open to let them in, then something can be worked out, as far as the reason for the breakup has been dealt with. God can mend broken hearts or can mend a broken relationship to facilitate the healing of both parties involved. Being humans, we tend to act rashly at times and make decisions that are solely based on emotions that are very fickle and subject to change depending on circumstances. In the heat of an argument, you might say things and make pronouncements that you later come to regret. And words are like eggs. Once they have been spoken or broken, as the case may be, it is difficult to retrieve them. And sometimes, our ego keeps us from acknowledging a fault or mistake or forgiving the other person. All these little issues are things that eventually lead to breakups in a relationship. And it has nothing to do with being with the right person. Even couples that have been described as a match made in heaven have their issues to sort out. Now, even when we make mistakes and takes decisions rashly, God has a way of correcting those mistakes, and when He knows two people are meant for each other, He looks for means to bring them back together, even after a separation.